Daesh continues to pose the most acute threat, but Al-Qaeda and other Islamist terrorist groups haven't gone away. With the police, we're also actively monitoring the trajectory of extreme right-wing terrorism. As we see instances of it rearing its ugly head, our response is equally firm. The sickening impact, shock, and disgust of terrorism has been felt right across Europe. Just 2 days ago, Paris saw another brutal attack. And since 2016, there have now been 45 separate attacks across 7 European countries. The UK, Germany, France, Belgium, Spain, Sweden, and Finland have all seen attacks. In the UK alone, since the Westminster attack in March last year, with the police we've thwarted a further 12 Islamist terror plots. 12 occasions where we have good reason to believe a terrorist attack would otherwise have taken place in our country. That brings the total number of disrupted attacks in the UK since 2013 to 25. Today, standing in Berlin, reflecting on the acute shared security threats we face, it is, of course, our vital European partnerships that are at the front of my mind. For many years, we and partner services, like the BFV and the other services present today, have worked to develop and invest in strong intelligence and security partnerships across Europe, bilaterally, multilaterally, and working with EU institutions. In today's uncertain world, we all need that shared strength more than ever. As Prime Minister Theresa May said in Florence, these are challenges to our shared European interests and values that we can only solve in partnership. Our democracy, prosperity, and security all depend on collaboration to address these threats. The UK is, of course, leaving the EU, and our relationship with the EU must change as a result. But as our government has said many times, we are not leaving Europe. In the Prime Minister's speech in Munich, she signalled the government's intent to sustain this mutually beneficial cooperation and develop a UK-EU treaty on internal security, building on our unique history of partnership. MI5 and my SIS and GCHQ colleagues are absolutely and necessarily committed to continuing to develop our contribution to collective security. That is what the threats require. It is an unconditional commitment. We must not risk the loss of mutual capability or weakening of collective effort across Europe. I don't do politics, but it is, of course, political arrangements, laws and treaties that permit or constrain what we can do together as agencies protecting our countries and Europe. So it's as a security practitioner that I hope for a comprehensive and enduring agreement that tackles obstacles and allows the professionals to get on with the job together.
The digital world carries significant potential to do good, but also to do harm. And we're only now perhaps starting to realize how much. Indeed, the last year was arguably the year when the public lost its cyber innocence. The WannaCry and NotPetya attacks provided a wake-up call. The Cambridge Analytica revelations raised public awareness about another challenge: social media tools, turbocharged for behavioral manipulation and disinformation. When the main source of such manipulative disinformation was Pravda, it was possible to detect and counter. What makes the 21st century equivalent harder to combat is that often the disinformation can come from trusted channels, when your favorite news feed suggests something for you to read, for example. For too long, we've perhaps been a little bit naive about the scale and nature of this challenge, but that naivety is disappearing, and disappearing fast. There is a growing public recognition of the dangers posed by the dark side of our digital world. To take just one example, the possibility to create deep fake videos. What started out as clever, amusing trickery to resurrect dead actors in much-loved franchises. Think Peter Cushing appearing digitally reborn in Star Wars, is now rapidly being turned into a deadly weapon of mass disinformation. And that's what we're facing today. That's what's facing us on the hybrid threat front line, the fight against a new kind of WMD.